all about sex. It's true. In fact, they say men think about sex every 28 seconds. Of course, that's straight men. With gay men, it's every 9. But who wants to be at home in bed, especially alone, when you could be here, knowing that at any moment you might see him, the most beautiful man who ever lived?
Next, on a special presentation of the Gay News Network, we'll take a look at the controversy surrounding the groundbreaking Showtime series, Queer as Folk. And we'll meet the actors who portray Lindsay, Michael, and Melanie, next on GNN.
Hi, we're the cast of Queer as Folk, and you're watching the Gay News Network.
This is GNN.
Today on the Gay News Network, we bring you a special behind-the-scenes presentation we call What the Folk. I'm Joe Liberatore. Today we'll meet 3 of the cast members from Queer as Folk, the wildly popular and often controversial series that currently can be seen on Showtime cable networks. As everybody and their hairdresser knows by now, Queer as Folk, the highly promoted, explicitly sexual series, is cloned from a British program of the same name. That version grabbed headlines with its unapologetic portrayal of the lives of several gay men in working-class Manchester, England. Series creator Russell T. Davies has said that the show is not about the entire gay world. It doesn't represent everyone, and anything that set out to do so would be bland, unfocused, and dull. The American producers transplanted the story to Pittsburgh, fiddled with a few of the plot lines, and created a groundbreaking drama that won the hearts of many and outraged others. Some critics have said that this product is so inferior to the original that it simply boggles the mind. Both shows raise interesting and controversial topics, ranging from gay parenting and underage sex to promiscuity and drug use. The U.S. series, featuring Gail Harold, Hal Sparks, and Emmy winner Sharon Gless, is said by some viewers, both gay and straight, to have too much sex and none of the heart or substance of the original. Still, other detractors say it is neither quite as raunchy, controversial, nor as upbeat or as optimistic as the British version. The U.S. series, well into its 2nd season and far beyond the original 8 episodes of the UK version, still features only 2 lesbians and no main characters of color. Critics have said the friendships between the gay men and lesbians is unrealistically portrayed, because viewers are hard-pressed to find a reason why their characters would spend time together, much less share a child.
$1 million.
That's the general idea.
$1 million fucking dollars?
Brian, please, you'll wake the baby.
Well, the answer's no. Definitely not.
I don't understand the problem. I mean, Lindsay told me you offered to help support him.
It was very generous.
Well, that's different than a life insurance policy.
It's simply in case something happens to you.
Like I'm decapitated at a railroad crossing, or burned beyond recognition in some gas explosion. You know, I can just imagine the grisly deaths you've conjured up for me.
Like in case you get sick.
However, not everyone despises the show. Queer as Folk debuted on Showtime as the highest-rated original series. Producers Ron Cohen, Daniel Littman, and Tony Jonas have given the U.S. audiences a smartly written, well-cast TV drama with shadings of comedy and a refreshing absence of self-consciousness.
Hiya, boys. Getting any tonight? I haven't seen you around here before.
He's new.
And cute. Every guy in the place has his eye on you tonight, sweetheart.
Can we order?
Shoot. Not that it'll be the first time tonight, am I right?
I'll have the chicken fried steak, no remarks, and he'll have a bacon cheeseburger.
Please.
Please.
You gotta keep your strength up, sunshine. You can't cruise all night on an empty stomach.
What a freak. Yeah, she takes some getting used to, but once you do, can't help but love her.
One chicken fried steak with no remarks coming up in a flash.
Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome, baby.
I'm getting out of here. Good night. Good night.
Recently, reporter Jacob Mikow and I had a chance to sit down with the actors Taya Gill, Hal Sparks, and Michelle Clunie, who portray three of the main characters on Queer as Folk.
Take a minute, please.
And are we going how is it?
You can say what you want. There's a couple for specifically how.
I'll tickle you like this when it's your turn.
Yeah. But you'll know when those come.
Hey, don't give up your day job.
You ready, Jim?
This is my day job.
Okay. How do you feel about the comparison between the American Queer as Folk and the British version of the show? I'm assuming all of you have seen it. What do you... No. Well, that...
First episode. That's it.
First episode.
I haven't seen any.
When you get viewer feedback about that, is that something that you get back on viewer feedback? People say, I've seen the British version and now I've seen the American version. People feel similarities or what they feel they were expecting from the American version?
Yeah, I dealt with that with Talk Soup because I followed and, you know, Greg Kinnear was the first and then John Henson, and so I was coming on the show and some people said I'm totally different because my focus was just on being myself. But some people thought, hey, he's trying to be John Henson or he's trying to be Greg Kinnear, and no thought like that ever entered my mind. This, I had an opportunity to avoid that entirely by not watching the show. I have not seen the British series, and I won't watch it, I don't think, until we're done, you know, doing this show years from now, whenever we finish up. Then I'll sit down and watch it. But that was a specific choice to avoid, you know, any comparison with me. Now, whether people like that series over ours or vice versa is kind of a moot point, because each one has its value. One is, you know, the original, and it will always have that. Ours is, there's more of a story. You know, we're doing 22 episodes where they did 10, and now we're going to do 42 ultimately, and then maybe even more. So, you know, it's apples and oranges in that respect.
Yeah.
Since you play a gay character, how do you feel when people assume you are gay?
I'm fine with it. I feel like I should be honest. I always feel a little odd, you know, if they just assume it and I don't say anything, because I don't want to be, I don't know, I just never want to be in any confusion about it. So I just tell them. But I'm never offended, certainly. That's not a problem.
Oh, geez, I mean, I think that's great. I mean, in a way,
My husband thinks that all the time.
No.
No.
It's that hey, if people are you know, believing my character as much as they are, that you know, then obviously
it's a compliment.
It's a great compliment, and you know, I don't mind, you know, what they think of me in any sense, other than hoping that they're, you know, liking what I'm doing.
How did you prepare for your gay role, and was there support from other co-stars who are gay on the show?
The execs, you know, had a lot to say with the men on the show that are straight, you know, as far as portraying it correctly. I think, for the most part, all you have to do is look, you know, bring up the love inside you and let that show through during the act, and that's enough. Regardless of, you know, the rest of it's just blocking. The rest of it's just, you know, who lies down on top of who, and that's pretty simple.
And also, sex is instinctual, and if it isn't, you're probably doing it wrong. And I don't think you need many lessons on, even when you're pretending sex, it's still instinctual. We're naturally sexual creatures, and I think we come equipped with all the knowledge and instincts to fulfill that activity.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting because, you know, for me, you know, Michael is a passive character in that respect. He's sort of the bottom in the relationship, so that's different than how I'm used to being. So it isn't necessarily as instinctual for me. But all I have to do is play his emotional context, and it comes through a lot easier. But yeah, it's different in practicalities just because of how I am versus how he is.
This is for Hal. Why did you choose to start acting? Why now? And then why Queer as Folk?
Well, I've been acting since I was 16 years old. And so most people just know me from Talk Soup, so they don't know the fact that I did Equus and Brighton Beach Memoirs and, you know, and guest spots on TV shows over the years. So insofar as that, I've been acting all along. Insofar as Queer as Folk, the script was excellent and the characters were really rich, and it was a chance to do something worth doing, you know. This opportunity wouldn't come around again in a lifetime to be this pivotal in a time in history, sir. So.
Since you're the only lesbian characters on the show, do you feel like a certain amount of pressure for representing all lesbians, or a certain type of pressure to represent all gay parents?
Oh no! I mean, that would be that's huge. That would be
That's
gigantic. That's not possible. I mean, it's I have a character. I have Lindsay, and she has her specific life and her specific love for Melanie, and I try and chip away at Lindsay in every kind of, you know, way I can, you know, bit by bit, and you know, and what's wonderful about working on a series is that, you know, you can sort of really, you know, build upon your character on a week by week basis, and you know, every week you find something new about you know, about your character, about my character. I find something new every week, and it's exciting and surprising that way. So no, I just hope I represent Lindsay in a real and in a deep and a profound, you know, way as I possibly can.
I don't feel any responsibility towards that because the character has to spring from you. I can't play a black lesbian mother. I can't play all lesbians. I can only play Melanie's situation, who she is, and then what I bring to it. And that's the story. That's what the show is about. She's part of that show, and so, you know, you can't have that responsibility because then it becomes mishmash and it doesn't become a specific story about anything.
When your characters are in dressing or in sexy lingerie, do you feel that it's representing a lesbian image, or do you feel it's representing sometimes what would come off to be like a heterosexual fantasy?
No, we don't wear lingerie on the show. I've never wore a silk teddy. In fact, I think the sexiest thing that I was dressed in was a pair of little boys' underwear and a little boy's tank. So if you have been watching the show, you'll see that we will never wear anything that is heterosexual sex. We're very cautious of that, and so that has nothing to do with our show at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything he wears.
Mm-hmm. I have to fight to get Vaseline on my lips. We don't even wear makeup.
Mm-hmm.
Here's one time it doesn't matter who your neighbor is. choose the other. Life's too short. Stop the hate.
Matthew Shepard died after he was beaten and tied to a fence. 2 men have been charged. One pleaded guilty.
You know, my biggest regret after walking into the hospital and seeing him was I didn't tell him enough as a father that I loved him. The thing that I've learned most is that your son is your son and your daughter is your daughter, regardless of whether they're straight or gay.
Was in another lifetime, one of toil and blood. When blackness was a virtue, the road was full of mud. I came in from the wilderness, a creature void of form. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm.
If we do not take responsibility for saving animals from extinction, we allow a part of ourselves to die with them, because in the web of life,
And if I pass
we are
this
all
way
connected.
again, you can rest assured.
Help World Wildlife Fund protect animals in the places where they live by ordering a free action kit. Together, we can leave our children a living planet.
She said, I'll give you shelter from the storm.
Do you think the opening of your show accurately reflects the tone of the show and of its characters? I think it's kind of a quirky intro, and I wonder how you think it as far as an intro for the series and for the people and what's going on, do you...
I think it's very British.
Mm-hmm.
Because that music is very...
Very techno kind of...
It's very, it's very London punk almost.
Yeah,
like,
London punk.
And all the colors and the
Yeah.
cowboy hats and the silhouettes.
Yeah, it's a, I don't know,
And
it's
there's
a
no
promise.
women in it.
Yeah.
Of course,
yeah.
I'm always, I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
this is just my job. This is my post as
We're not in it, and it doesn't say our
Melanie.
names.
I'm
That's a
always,
little actor thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't we have any Katie Lang songs on the show? It's like I'm always like
Mhm.
constantly bringing this stuff up. But this is the bane
Yeah.
of my existence, or the bane, or whatever.
Mhm.
But so anyway,
Yeah.
it's okay. I just wish that there's some women going like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. But I think it's because it's the one thing that no one's ever seen is this scantily clad male activity that's going on in the show. That's what the promise of an opening of a show always is about. This is what you're going to see that you don't see anywhere else. And whereas lesbian relationships have been a little more shown, at least physically, they, I think, express them more emotionally than they ever have been, and tell a deeper story than we've ever seen, certainly in a series, that's no question. But as far as the physicality of a lesbian relationship, that's a little more seen. It's more, there's been a history of that. Whereas with gay men together and the nudity and the promiscuity and all that kind of side of it has never been on. So they really are, I think that's what the opening is like. This is what you're going to see when you come see the show. Stick around. And so that's what they're shooting for, I think. It would be nice, to see, I agree with Michelle, it would be nice to see, the pairs of women and that kind of stuff.
And you could cut a few in there. Wouldn't take much. I'm not asking for the world.
We're behind you.
Yeah. We could just clip some out of, like, the opening of a Bond film, like...
Or
women
Tay
covered
and
in
I
oil
could
and
get
stuff.
dressed up in little tidy whities or something. We could just be like...
Let's choreograph that at my place.
Okay.
Choreograph.
In almost every episode, the main gay characters visit the gym. Do you think that was a conscious effort on the producer's part as far as gay men and gym and their body image, or do you think that was just a natural part of kind of what the community is and what people do?
I think it's both. I think it's responding to a natural element in the gay community. Certainly, there's a lot of focus on body image. That's a very, not just a gay thing. That's a very male thing. Men are very visually oriented, and two men, doubly so. So yeah, there's a lot of focus on it. I think there's even, I think more room to explore that than we've gone into. The gym becomes a social as well as a physical place to be for these characters, and that's the way we use it. But it's bigger than that even, and I think we'll see more of that next year.
Is there anyone here listening? There's this new girl at work who's interested in you. That Marley tricked you into meeting her and some of the others for a drink after work, and now you have to go, or they might suspect. Check out Mr. Peck Deck. So what if they do? They could fire him. Or I could end up an assistant manager for the rest of my life.
And the solution is to pretend you like pussy?
Look, he's not like you, okay?
What's that supposed to mean?
Meaning he's not an obviously gay man.
Are you accusing me of being obvious?
If the fuck me pump fits.
Well, I could be a real man if I wanted to. You know, just lower my voice, stop gesturing with my hands, make sure my face is expressionless. Never use words like fabulous or divine. Talk about, I don't know, nailing bitches and RBIs. But I'd rather my flame burn bright than be some puny little pilot light.
And a fabulous flame it is.
Thank you.
Kind of as on a lighter note, are there any jokes or hijinks that go on in the production set, or particular people that are more offenders than the others?
Yeah. It's a little hard not to have fun when you're walking around with a sock on your penis most of the time. I feel like I'm
in front of 20 people.
Yeah, right. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you're not totally nude, so you're wearing this, whatever. Anyways, yeah. I mean, there's all sorts of plain jokes. One time, Peter Page had a really hard time opening his phone on this one take. They gave him a flip phone to use, and he couldn't get his finger in to open it up. And he, like 5 times, he kept messing it up, and everybody was like laughing at him a little bit or whatever, and he was getting more and more embarrassed. And then finally, one of the grip guys snuck in and put a little stick tack in it so that it couldn't be opened at all. So one of the takes is him just like, that was very funny, and it kind of broke the tension around getting that scene done.
What about stuff with the baby? I mean, obviously the baby's got to do what the baby does. I mean, is that...
Tell them about
yeah.
the bris.
No, during the bris scene, the baby crapped all over my arm.
And that's so...
And I don't mean a little crap. I mean an explosion.
Diarrhea.
It was like, and all of a sudden I became I Love Lucy. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
I was like, and then I turned to Tay and I passed the baby to you, and then there was poop
It
all
was
over
like a
your arm, and
machine.
we were just like, and we went on with the scene because we were like, oh God, what if it's a great take? What if this is the take? You know?
And I think it was a great take.
I think so, and they didn't use it. No, not after all that.
No, it would have been a little distracting from the drama that was leading up to it, I think, because it certainly was for us.
Yeah.
I was out of the scene at that point, and I was just watching from the side. So, yeah, that was pretty hilarious.
Must be great to watch the dailies and like see people's eyes watering, you know.
Yeah. Sometimes we get the giggles pretty fiercely. There's a scene where Michael comes home in the pilot and he's watching this porn that Emmett gives him to masturbate because the date didn't go well or whatever.
It all takes place in a prisoner of war camp. Hot, horny men starved for action.
I can relate to that.
Guaranteed to make your private stand up and salute.
Schindler's Fist.
Here, I will leave you two alone. I'm sure you're going to have a deep, meaningful relationship. Good night.
Okay, Private. Drop, trow, and bend over.
For my physical, sir?
No. Target practice.
The voiceover of it is actually Russell Mulcahy and the director of the episode, and the boom guy, Craig, doing the lines off camera, and then they redid them later. But Winnie, our script supervisor, had to read them off of a script because that's how it's done. And she got the giggles so bad she couldn't finish. She was crying. Her face was beet red. So she was working on like a pack show right before this. You know, it was like like Little House on the Prairie type stuff. And suddenly she's reading, "Bend over, soldier. For my physical, sir. No target practice."
And she gets the giggles.
Yeah,
it's the most
bad.
beautiful
And it's
thing
contagious, and we all fall apart.
Let him clean up his own mess for a change. Don't waste your Friday night babysitting. Mom, I'll be home late.
Well, I'm not Gus's biological parent.
To please the client. I'm just going through puberty. My voice is still breaking a little bit.
What about future plans for your career? Projects other than Queer as Folk, and then how do you think appearing in Queer as Folk will affect your careers, good or bad?
Well, so far so good.
Yeah.
You know, I think any actress that goes from 0 to 60, you know, I have actresses that have been working, you know, I've been working for 8 years under the Screen Actors Guild, and I have friends that are like, are doing major movies right now. They haven't done the press I've done. You know, this is such a high-profile show that for any actor to say this isn't a great opportunity, as long as you have the cleverness and the brains and the cycle to flip it into something positive, which if you're smart and you know, you have the kind of attitude where, well, if they don't think I can do that role, I'll just show them. It's a very show-me business. So it's been a fantastic opportunity, and I'm grateful to Showtime for getting behind this show.
If this thing went on for 2, 3, 4 years, General Hospital's been around like 33 years. I mean, do you think there would be a point when, if for whatever reason they were still producing this and your characters were still involved, would you finally, you know, would you sign off after 7 episodes?
I can't do it anymore.
Well, I think the more important thing is that once the story is told when these people, you know, my character in particular, grows up.
Right.
For Michael, his story ends when he actualizes himself, and then it becomes a sitcom. Michael as the actualized gay man interacting with the straight world. Right. Do they accept him? Do they not? And that's a good basis for humor, but not necessarily.
Kind of run its course.
Yeah, right. So I think we're a little closer to that kind of a show.
Thanks for doing the interview.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Picture with you. 514, take frame.
There you are. I'm sorry.
514, take 7.
Brian?
Take 8.
Oh, no. That was you. Ready, sweetie? Oh, shit, I'm in my glasses. Sorry.
Oh, son of a bitch, I have a... Yeah, you know, fuck. Son of a bitch, you know, I have a mind to rock. Son of a bitch, you know, I have a mind to walk. Money is like manure. It isn't worth a thing unless you spread it around, share the wealth. You know, something like that. You know what I mean? Is that Cher?
No, it's Charles Riley. Tastes like cum. Where's the cheddar?